You know that feeling, right? You end a long shift and you're not just tired from the hours you put in, you're completely drained from the calls themselves. If that sounds familiar, then you're in the right place. Today, we're putting together a survival guide just for you, for the high-pressure world of call centers. All right, let's jump right in. Look, before we get into any of the strategies, let's get one thing crystal clear. If you find this job hard, that is not a reflection on you. It doesn't mean you're weak, and it definitely doesn't mean you're incapable. It just means the job is, well, it's hard by design. And that's really the heart of it. The job itself is stressful. Think about it. You've got a constant stream of calls, you're being measured on all these metrics, and you're often dealing with people who are already upset. The stress isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature of the job. So if we know the stress is just part of the deal, what can we possibly do about it? Well, we have to start thinking about this differently. This isn't just some extra nice-to-have wellness tip. This is about mastering the single most fundamental skill you need for this role. That's right, I'm not kidding. Learning to handle this pressure isn't an extra skill, it's a survival skill. This is the one thing that determines who sticks around and thrives versus who gets completely burned out. Honestly, it's just as crucial as knowing what to say to a customer. You know, the first step to tackling any problem is actually knowing what you're dealing with, giving it a name. When you can identify exactly what you're feeling, you can start to do something about it. So let's break down the vocabulary of what you're up against every day. Okay, first up, the big one, stress. This isn't some fuzzy idea. It's that very real tension you feel, knowing there's another call right behind this one, that your numbers are being watched, and that the next person on the line could be your toughest one yet. It's like this constant, low hum of pressure. Now, what happens when that stress just keeps coming, day in and day out, with no relief? That's when you start to hit burnout. And this is so much more than just being tired. It's that deep down exhaustion where you just feel done. You lose your motivation, you feel disconnected, and you might even start to dread logging on in the morning. And then there's fatigue. This one's a little different. It's not just about needing a good night's sleep, it's that unique mental exhaustion that comes from being on all day long. You're actively listening, you're solving problems, you're managing your own emotions and the customers'. It's the reason why, after a full shift, even deciding what to eat for dinner can feel like an impossible task. Okay, so we've put a name to the enemy: stress, burnout, and fatigue. Now comes the good part, the most important part, really. It's time to pivot. We're going to shift our focus away from the problem and start building our response. And here's the cool thing. For every single one of those challenges, there is a powerful response we can build. When we're facing that constant stress and tension, our response is to build resilience. And to fight back against burnout and fatigue, our response is to find balance. It's a direct counter to each problem. So what in the world is resilience, really? Think of it like your own personal shock absorber. It's that ability that lets you take a really tough call. Maybe someone's yelling at you. And then instead of letting that negativity ruin your whole day, you can bounce back, reset, and be ready for the next person. And how do we stop burnout in its tracks? We fight it with balance. This is all about drawing a line in the sand. It means creating a real separation between your work self and your home self, so the job doesn't just bleed into every other part of your life. So this all sounds great, but how do we actually do it? How do we build that resilience and balance? Well, it all starts with creating your own personal self-care toolkit. Let's look at some simple, practical things you can start doing right away. And listen, we're not talking about huge, life-altering changes here. This is about small things. Taking literally 60 seconds between calls to stand up and stretch, taking a few deep breaths to calm your nerves, making sure you're drinking water, and setting boundaries, like deciding you're not going to check work emails after hours. These are your first steps. And all of these little things fall under the umbrella of self-care. We have to stop thinking of that word as some kind of luxury or indulgence. It's not. It's maintenance, plain and simple. A car needs regular oil changes to keep from breaking down, and you need these small, deliberate actions to protect your own well-being. One of the most powerful tools you can have in that toolkit is mindfulness. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It's just the simple act of focusing on right now. So when that call queue is blinking red and your heart starts racing, just taking 30 seconds to focus only on your breathing can pull you right back to center. And please, please remember this. You are not in this alone. You have to lean on your support system. And you know who your best ally is sometimes? The person sitting right next to you. They are the only other people who truly get it. Just being able to turn to them after a horrible call and vent for a minute, that can be incredibly powerful. All right, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final, really crucial reminder. I know this is a job that is obsessed with numbers and metrics, average handle time, customer satisfaction, all of it. And it's so easy to get lost in that. Just let that sink in for a second. Your well-being is more important than any number on a spreadsheet. Your health, your sanity, your happiness, that is the real metric. The performance numbers will go up and down, but your health is the foundation of everything. Don't ever trade it for a target. So I'll leave you with this question. Think about it. What is one small thing, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, that you can do just for you, to take care of yourself? Make a plan to do it. Thanks so much for joining me for this one.